All my friends have been proposing, and I'm still living on my own.
Hello, welcome to another What I Eat in a Week video. So for Monday's brunch, I had these chickpea burritos. I ran out of kidney beans, so I just made the filling with chickpeas and normal bell peppers, some salsa, and instead of sour cream, I used this curd dip, like hung curd dip, and it's very tasty, and I just like it more than sour cream. And I wanted to make actually burritos, but then my wraps were pretty small, so I ended up having big tacos with a lot of filling. I like my feelings, like I love my share of filling, so these are like, they were also very filling. You get the joke. So these were very filling, my taco burrito situation. And for evening snack, I had these potato fingers and some sweet potato, and on the sweet potato also I put Mexican seasoning with the same curd dip I made in the morning with ketchup and some chai. And yeah, this was my evening snack situation. Yes, and I love sweet potatoes very much. And for dinner, I made mixed veg, and I put some sambar masala to make it, like, to give a certain South Indian taste. And I had it with a lacha paratha, and I had some leftover chole as well, so I had those. Again, I think this is the best way to use the leftover vegetables. I just make mixed veg, and it's really delicious. And I had it with curd, and I cannot have my Indian share of food without curd or raita. I need to have curd with every Indian meal. So yeah, this was my dinner. And for the next day, I started my morning with a chia seed pudding, and I put matcha powder in the chia seed pudding, and I also put some strawberry yogurt and just garnished it with some fruits and cacao nibs. It was very delicious, and I'm not a big breakfast person, so I had a small portion. And for Tuesday's lunch also, I had a Mexican platter. This week has a lot of Mexican food, I guess. So I'm having the smoked tofu for the very first time. I got the beans today, and yeah, Mexican beans, and I'm chopping a red spicy chili. I like my food spicy. Your girl loves her spices. So yeah, I'm making a cherry tomato salsa. I'm just roughly chopping, and I'm not, doing all the fine chopping this time. I was just in a hurry, and I made quickly tossed in the tomatoes, onion, chili, coriander, lemon, salt, and a quick salsa to go with every Mexican thing that I have. Yeah, this was like, I love salsa, and I like to make fresh salsa like every time. I do not store it because lemon does some scientific thing and it just goes bad. So I'm having it with quinoa, like some quinoa and some beans, Mexican peppers with some fajita seasoning, also smoked tofu. I just sauteed it, and some fresh sour cream and salsa I put there. And I got these nachos. These were from a different brand, said something protein packed nachos, but they were really delicious. So yeah, and I also had a slice of lime for the extra lemony thing, squeezing lemony thing. And yeah, this was my lunch, and I totally enjoy this platter. And I use this white bowl, which is not a plate, not a bowl, perfect for all my meals. And I had a French vanilla hot brew for my 4 p.m. snack, I guess. So for dinner, I ended up using all my Mexican sides that I had in the fridge, and I just stuffed all of them, like the beans. I mixed the beans and the quinoa together to heat it up, like I did it in one pan. And I made the salsa fresh. Just made the salsa and used all of the things that I already had, and just put them together and rolled the wrap. Then I just cooked it for 2-3 minutes for it to all get crunchy. And on the side, I am just adding all the Mexican sides again because we don't throw food in this household and we just eat all our leftovers, which is the smartest thing to do. So, this is just my leftover Mexican burrito dinner with a burrito roll and a lot of sides. It was really delicious. This is something I can have every day. I will get bored, but then again, I can have this every day. I just watched a movie and ended the day. And for the next day, I actually have coffee every day, but I don't film it. But for my breakfast today, I was in a mood to make some buttermilk pancakes. So I made a nice small stack of 5 buttermilk pancakes. Drizzle some honey, some banana, some blueberries, 2 small cubes of dark chocolate, and look at it. Like, look at the honey drip. It looks so scrumptious. It was very delicious. My absolute, absolute, absolute favorite thing in this world. I am still a pancake gal, like an oat pancake gal, but I like sometimes my buttermilk pancakes with the AP flour as well. And again, the next day, so we are making some whole wheat udon noodles. Just added some tofu, some peppers and green onions, some oyster sauce, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and some vinegar. And this was like a quick lunch. I love noodles, like udon noodles. They're whole wheat and it's just healthier, I guess. And I like my noodles and my Chinese. So yeah, I had the noodles as lunch, and for a quick dinner I had these kimchi cheese sushi. The cheese did not melt as per my expectations, but anyway, so this is a very special day. I got 2 whole wheat pizza bases which I made throughout the week. So the first pizza I made was a Mexican tofu pizza, and I just make the sauce, like the pizza sauce. It's just tomato, garlic and olive oil, and I just tossed the tofu in the Mexican seasoning and added the peppers and drizzled this 4th cheese over it. I don't have an oven, so I just do it on a pan and I cover it with a lid for the cheese to all melt. This was the best part of this week. Like, the best thing I had this week was this pizza and the second pizza that I had, but it was the pizza that I made. It was very delicious, very tasty, fulfilling, packed with protein. I had put a lot of tofu pieces, like I think 100 grams of tofu it was, and the cheese was just to die for. So yeah, this was my lunch, and I'm just drizzling some seasoning over it, and of course there's Diet Coke. So this was my brunch. So it was very fulfilling and tasty, like I've already mentioned 100 times. And there's me showing you how crunchy and crispy the bottom gets on the pan. For dinner today, I made teriyaki mushroom sushi. So I think this week was Navratri and my family did not want me to have non-veg. So I just had a lot of veg things this week. So I just tossed some mushroom in teriyaki sauce and some cucumbers, and basic, simple, easy peasy sushi. I made 2 rolls. One was small, one was big. I just finished all the rice. I cooked like the sushi rice, and this is again, like, you cannot go wrong with sushi. I got this wasabi from Modern Bazaar, and this is the real deal. Like, it is so spicy, and it just sends you to hell if you have more than like 1 dot of it. This is not what you get when you eat out. This is like crazy, but I love it. It's just very indulgent, and here I am having my sushi. I love sushi. I love anything that is edible for that matter, but I love sushi. And for little dessert situation, I just had these milk bikis with some blueberries and nutties, and we are moving ahead and the week is ending. But for Friday's brunch, I had tossed this lettuce, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes and walnut salad, and I had some quinoa in the fridge. So I just made some teriyaki mushrooms, just a very, very quick brunch. and topped it with some sesame seeds and nori, and I had a salad. Very weird combination, but I was just using what I had in my fridge. So, and it was not very delicious or filling. So for evening, like second lunch, I had these potato pops with carrots and peas with green chutney and tamarind chutney and tea for evening snack. So I went to my house, and for evening, me and my sister went out and had bhel puri and one dabeli. And for dinner, I had a lot of food this day, I remember. For dinner, I made chow mein for my family, and as usual, it's chow mein. You cannot again go wrong with it. I had a very small portion, to be honest, because I was very much filled, and this taste was all over the place. So for Saturday, I started my morning with 2 chili cheese toast. I love my chili, I love my cheese. We are ending the week on a very good note because I had like this invention. I had a tofu tikka pizza. I guess it's available in Pizza Hut, but I am not a very big fan of paneer in general. But this tofu was so good, and I just tossed it in some yogurt, like the basic marinade, and let it sit for like an hour or something. And I just tossed it in some oil for the veggies to be a bit cooked and for the curd to, thicken a bit, and just used the sauce I already made a couple of days ago. And this was a very feelings wala pizza. It had a lot of feelings and filling. So I put a little less cheese because it was already very loaded. I did not want more cheese, and I wanted the yogurt flavor. And because it was a very bulky pizza, I did cut this into 6 pieces, but this was so delicious. I literally inhaled it, and it was just very tasty. I think I'm in lack of words to describe food. I just say tasty, delicious, tasty, delicious, tasty, delicious. And I also had my Diet Coke with it. Looking at the footage, like while I'm doing the voiceover, is making me again crave the same pizza. But moving on to dinner, I made these veggie baos. The process of making baos is similar to that of making a dumpling, but just that you knead the dough with a lot of yeast. And I just pan fried them and made a dipping sauce on the side, which had some sesame seeds and soy sauce to go with these baos. I made them for my family. We all enjoyed it, and this is it with this week's lots of food. And I'll see you next week with some more food and probably a better throat.
You needed me, but I needed you more.